Could it actually be coming home? England's first ever penalty shootout win at a World Cup finals, and their first of any kind in 22 years, means the Three Lions have seen off Colombia and are into the quarter-finals. Gareth Southgate's side will now face Sweden, into the last 8 for the first time since 1994. For a spot in the semi-finals. The winner will then face either hosts Russia or Croatia, both of whom passed the second round with penalty wins over Spain and Denmark respectively. The quartet are unlikely to ever get a better chance of reaching a final. England celebrate, image, Getty, Luka Modric and Croatia are in the last 8 for the first time since 1998, image, Rex/Shutterstock. On the other half of the draw things are even more interesting, with 4 of the more fancied sides still going strong. Brazil remain the tournament favourites with bookmakers, and they made light work of a dangerous Mexico side in the second round. They will face Belgium, through by the skin of their teeth after coming from 2 goals down to beat Japan 3-2. Kylian Mbappé inspired France past Argentina in arguably the game of the tournament in their last 16 fixture. The teenage Phenom scoring twice in a 4-3 win as Lionel Messi and the Albiceleste were sent home. Les Bleus face another South American mission in the quarters, with Uruguay having done a number on the European champions. Edinson Cavani bagging a brace. Mbappé destroyed Argentina, image, Getty Images Europe. Cavani and Suarez did for Uruguay, image, Getty Images Europe. So who now are the most likely winners? Here are the Mirror Football's updated power rankings ahead of the quarter-finals. Let us know your thoughts at Mirror Football. Note, the power rankings are done in order of anticipated likelihood to win the competition and qualify for the next round, taking into account both long-term results, recent performances and the cards that have been dealt. The idea is that too much should never be read into any single result. 8 Sweden and they keep going. Image, Getty, Sweden aren't pretty. But my word, they're hard to beat. In their 4 games at these finals they've been behind for only the moments following Toni Kroos' stunning free-kick winner in the 2-1 loss to Germany. A team that runs itself into the ground and refuses to quit. They may be limited but they play within their limits, built on a collective work ethic instilled by Jan Andersson. However, there is only so far the defensive new and the over-reliance on Emil Forsberg for spark can carry them. Eventually they are bound to come unstuck, it's just a matter of when. And because this is not their home tournament, they rank below Russian on our list. Regardless, Zlatan Ibrahimovic watches on ruefully. 7 Russia are into the last 8, image, AFP, labeled the worst Russian side ever by members of the home press. Expectations were low pre-tournament, but Stanislav Chercheyov's side put in excellent performances against Saudi Arabia and Egypt to book a last 16 spot, before being brought back down to earth with a bump by Uruguay. Hammered 3-0 by the South Americans. The momentum looked to be gone, then somehow they held Spain out for 120 minutes, conceding only to an own goal, and won on penalties. Igor Akinfeev a hero with 2 saves. They should have been beaten, but Spain were just so toothless that they were able to cling on and then held their nerve. They can't possibly see off Croatia too, can they? 6. Belgium will face Brazil, image, 2018 Getty Images. Made no mistake, Belgium got out of jail against Japan, having qualified for the last 16 with 3 wins from 3 and 9 goals scored. Roberto Martinez's men looked to have the dream draw against the Blue Samurai. However, tactical naivety and a lethargic opening 60 minutes meant they found themselves 2 goals down. Credit Martinez for the changes and to Marouane Fellaini for wreaking havoc. Credit Kevin De Bruyne for casting aside his shackles with a 94th minute surge and Nafer Chadli for finishing an outstanding counter to give them victory. But if they play in a similar fashion, with a similar formation, against Brazil, then expect them to be absolutely destroyed in Kazan. This is the biggest test Belgium's golden generation has faced since the Euro 2016 loss to Italy. They don't often play teams who are perceived as better, or at least on a par with them. They may, on paper, be the 3rd/4th best side left at the finals, but they are the most fragile side on their half of the draw. They either improve drastically, do things smarter, or they go home. 5. England 3 Lions boss Gareth Southgate, image, Getty. The Three Lions secured a World Cup first in the last 16, by winning a penalty shootout. The win over Colombia showed that Gareth Southgate's side, the youngest left at the finals and very much one learning on the job, are growing in stature. The clash was far from pretty and in terms of technical quality was one of the worst in the second round, as it descended into something of a blood feud with plenty of sniping, play acting and late challenges on display. But John Stones, Harry Maguire and the whole team grew in Moscow, showing the stomach for the fight and going out and winning a game that already looked won after Yerry Mina's 93rd minute equaliser. It was an excellent display of heart. They will again be asked to use their heads, when they face an obdurate Sweden side who will allow England to dominate the ball and ask them to break them down. With 6-goal Harry Kane on fire, there's every chance. But there remains the worry that England are very much set pieces or bust when it comes to notching at these finals. Can the likes of Raheem Sterling, Jesse Lingard and Dele Alli create or take chances when it's really necessary? 4. Uruguay are celebrating Luis Suarez. Image, Getty. La Celeste's reward for winning Group A with a 100% record and without conceding a goal was a nightmare draw. If they want to get to the final, they'll have to go past Portugal, France in the last 8 and then likely favourites Brazil. Part A of it has been achieved. Edinson Cavani's double seeing off the Selecao. It was an excellent display where they never allowed Portugal to gain a foothold on proceedings and kept Cristiano Ronaldo at arm's length throughout. When all is said and done, playing more expansive sides plays into the hands of veteran coach Oscar Tabarez and a stubborn, difficult, battle-hardened team, who are still to be behind at these finals. This is the final hurrah for the likes of Diego Godin, Luis Suarez and Cavani, and they look determined to make the most of it. They win matches not necessarily by raising their game, but rather by dragging opponents down to where they want them. France looks a mouth-watering clash already and one that they will truly believe they can come out the other side of with a victory. Cavani faces a fitness test. Losing him would be a major blow. Can Croatia reach the final? Image, 2018 FIFA. Croatia put in the performance of the tournament with their 3-0 decimation of Argentina, a match in which they toyed with the South Americans and were absolutely outstanding during the group stage. Binning off Ante Kasic and his tactics for Zlatko Dalic has already proved well worth it, but in the last 16 against Denmark, we saw signs that the pressure was starting to get to the Vatani. Although they eventually won on penalties in the last 8, there is no doubt that they are favourites to beat Russia. Like Spain, they will dominate and control the hosts, and Luka Modric and Ivan Rakitic must ensure that, unlike the Spanish, they don't lose focus on the task at hand and retain clarity. They have a clear pathway to the final, because they are the best team on that side of the draw. Their quarter-final is a battle of mentality and a battle with themselves. As much as anything else, can they keep their heads against the hosts? 2. France. Deschamps is aiming to bring the World Cup for the first time since 1998. Image, 2018 Getty Images. They have impressed for probably a grand total of 45 minutes at the World Cup finals. They laboured to a win over Australia, and continued to play within themselves in the 1-0 win over Peru. That pattern continued in the draw with Denmark, and you simply cannot just turn playing well off and on like a tap. Didier Deschamps is still yet to find a balance in midfield and attack that really works and lay Blur aside that too often look less than the sum of its parts. They dumped out Argentina with an at times irresistible attacking display, led by the breathtaking pace by Mbappe, but left holes in defense and conceded 3 times to a side that contained Messi but had been little more than shambolic in Russia. Now they meet a Uruguay side who won't give them space, who will defend deep and smother them. There have to be questions marks over Deschamps and his ability to affect matches in play, whether with substitutions or tactical changes, while Messrs. Cavani and Suarez can hurt them. However, with the amount of talent that they possess, with genuine quality right through the side, they are serious contenders. That's why they are our number 2. Kylian Mbappe is the pretender for Lionel Messi's crown as world's greatest one. Brazil. Neymar and Paulinho celebrate against Mexico. Image, AFP/Getty. The favourites and, quite frankly, the best side on show in Russia thus far. Tight side haven't thrilled completely at the finals, and they don't really dominate opponents. But much like Real Madrid in the Champions League, they rely on their key men being able to make the difference in the most important moments of matches. Mexico was another case in point. In the opening 20 minutes, their rock-solid defense, still only one goal conceded, stood firm as El Tri attacked with vigor. Alisson barely had a save to make once more. Such was the job of those in front, marshaled by Thiago Silva, playing once more like he's back in his AC Milan pomp. Then they took control of the game and had the brilliance of Neymar to make the difference. The £200 million superstar hasn't been at his free-flowing best just yet, with Tite insisting he's still not 100%. But he's getting closer, while Philippe Coutinho has stepped up to be a genuine golden ball contender. Every opponent, bar Switzerland, have failed to land a glove on them. Ahead of their mouth-watering clash with Belgium, they remain our number one. Uruguay vs France, Friday, 3 p.m, Nizhny Novgorod. Brazil vs Belgium, Friday, 7 p.m, Kazan. Sweden vs England, Saturday, 3 p.m, Samara. Russia vs Croatia, Saturday, 7 p.m, Sochi. Winner betting odds via Betfair. Brazil 11/4, France 7/2, England 4-1, Croatia, Belgium 13/2, Uruguay 14-1, Russia 21, Sweden 25-1.